Hey guys, welcome back to A Goddess is a Girl's Best Friend. We are on chapter 25, Handle Co-Worker Conflicts with Nemesis. The quote for this chapter is, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And this is from Eleanor Roosevelt. All right, let's get started. Many of us have a nemesis at work. Perhaps it's a coworker who makes our blood boil, an incompetent colleague who charms her way into good graces of the powers that be and edges in on our territory, or a boss who takes our ideas and presents them as her own or his own. If you haven't come across this person yet, you likely will someday, because friction in the workplace was invented long before the workplace itself. And even the nicest of us will, at some point, work with someone we don't like and someone who does not particularly care for us either. How many lunches with friends, phone calls with loved ones, or drinks with office pals have you spent trashing the person you consider the bane of your professional existence? How much have you complained and, yes, whined about one person who is always impinging on your territory, treating you like crap, pulling power plays, sabotaging you behind your back, making you do more than your fair share of work, stealing your ideas, or making your life at the office hell? One of the most difficult steps in healing from the offenses and attacks of people we work with is to recognize how they are holding up a mirror to us about something we need to look at in life. Usually this has to do with the way we sabotage ourselves and sometimes self-destruct our own good work, good fortunes, and opportunities. It's a hard mirror to gaze into. It spotlights self-hatred and a wound you may not even know is there. It's a human nature to see the problem as a defect in the other person, but because you may be stuck with your office nemesis for some time, it is important that you work on yourself. Your arch rival may be reflecting your own worst behavior or your own worst attacks on yourself, pushing you to evoke your power in a way you never have before. It's tempting to fantasize of retaliation for any perceived or actual wrongs. But if you are dealing with an individual who is angry, arrogant, competitive, resentful, manipulative, nasty, sneaky, deceitful, paranoid, or slightly insane, you must assess if there is anything in that person that is also in you. Experiences with difficult people often show us a side of ourselves that is buried in the unconscious and bring up old wounds, part of us that need healing. In many cases, this person represents a classic case of your problem is your best friend. Nemesis is a girl's best friend when it comes to dealing with confrontations and conflicts with work associates. She helps us recognize when someone in front of us is reflecting something within us and help us heal self-sabotage. She represents the internal mechanisms of judgment, retribution, and revenge, and how they can backfire on us if we do not have a clear concept of soul within, without. Who is Nemesis? Goddess of righteous anger, justice, unhappiness. She is a primordial deity who emerged from chaos. She's an avenger because she takes away happiness if she thinks her sister Tyche has been given too much. This is by Martha Ann and Dorothy Myers, ML, and the book is called Goddesses in World Mythology. Nemesis, the pronunciation is spelled N-E-M-E-S-I-S, and that is actually how you spell it as well. Nemesis is the Greek goddess of retribution, revenge, and normal indignation for evil deeds and undeserved fortune. She was in charge of putting evildoers in their place and kicking butt when it came to untamed, arrogant, and unscrumptious behavior. She also was not at all big on allowing people to have what she viewed as access, wealth, happiness, or even self confidence. Her name means one who distributes or deals out retributive justice. Sorry. And that's what she did for the ancients. Anyone who tried to get one over on her was eventually under her thumb. She was somewhat of an instant karma initiator. You stole, you hurt another, you committed a crime, or you ended up with something you did not deserve, and she was on you. She was the daughter of Erebus and the night goddess Night. She is, the night is spelled, Erebus is Erebus, and Night is Nykis. Nykis. She is said to have had a rip warrior affair with the king of all gods, Zeus, which produced the beautiful Helen of Troy, but some stories say she only laid an egg containing her daughter and refused to nurture it, leaving the hatching to someone else. Nemesis was representing often in a tragic art as a serious, thoughtful young woman, sometimes seen with wings of a griffin, and sometimes with a sword and a whip. How to invite her into your life. The American Heritage Dictionary points out that Nemesis is not only the goddess of retribution in Greek mythology, but her name has come to symbolize a source of harm or ruin, an opponent that cannot be beaten or overcome, and no one that inflicts retribution or vengeance. But the goddess Nemesis is not the one who is out to get you. She's there to guide you. Ashe. She views your enemy at work as someone who can teach you more about your inner nemesis, the one who criticizes and negating everything you do, making you vulnerable around office bullies. Nemesis holds a mirror to us so we can uncover our own dark side and heal ourselves. We can't change the people around us, and it's not up to us to do so. But we can expand our understanding of frustrating situations, and we can change our own reactions and behaviors. 1. Create a nemesis awareness chart. Start with a plain piece of paper. Make 3 columns. Write down the name of your work nemesis in the first column, your name in the middle column, family in the third column. Let it all out. Proceed to write down all your issues with this person in the first column. For example, she or he is nasty, arrogant, a liar, manipulative, backstabbing, etc. Complain and let loose. Just the act of discharging some of your pent-up feelings on paper will be helpful. Next, is this me? Question. Next, ask yourself honestly if you can relate to any of those qualities. Do you see them in yourself? If the person you take issue with is overly competitive, envious, or intentionally covert, could it be that you have any of those traits too? If so, write them down in your column beginning with I am and own up to the quality. Next, check the family tree. Then under the heading of the family, see if there is anyone in your family who exhibits the kinds of behaviors you find so problematic with your work nemesis. Maybe you had a parent who was very critical and judgmental, or a sibling with whom you experienced great rivalry, or who was always vying for attention and taking it away from you. Next, review your list. Take a deep breath and ask Nemesis to guide you as you go over the completed 3 columns. List to seek clarity and elimination. See if you can identify all the specific ways you feel attacked and aggravated by your work nemesis. Also look to see if there is a corresponding behavior in you or someone in your family. Next, don't be shocked. Most everyone will find a little bit of their work nemesis in themselves and their families. Some will find more similarities than others. The list helps you see that your situation at work may just be the icing of the cake. That is, the triggering, painful, or disturbing behaviors you develop or were exposed to in childhood. Healing these things is a process. The first step is to illumine them and begin to notice what sets off the difficulties at work. For example, perhaps you felt out of control at home as a child, and now you have a boss who is very dysfunctional. Every interaction with the boss would include not just the current drama they are creating, but it would re-stimulate the old dramas and traumas you grew up with. In many ways, these difficult work situations cause us to revert to childhood and feel like children again. It's very hard to put in a decent day's work when you feel 3 feet tall. Number 2, keep doing a self-sabotage reality check. Use the list as a launch pad to get to know yourself, your patterns, and your emotional, psychological, and spiritual makeup a little better, and explore family history that may affect you at work. Perhaps you come from a family that encouraged you to feel more comfortable with confrontation and hardship. You might be repeating that pattern at work. Or you might have a family that did not empower feelings of worthiness, and thus nemesis may show up like a bully in the workplace who challenge you to own your power. Be gentle with yourself as you muster the courage to sort all these issues out. 3, identify where you are your own worst enemy. The most difficult and dark side of the nemesis is that she also represents the part of us that is lacking in self-esteem, self-appreciation, self-love. Nemesis is sometimes pictured with a sword and a whip to emphasize her power to punish those who misbehave. How often do you use that sword and whip metaphorically and emotionally to punish yourself? How often do you retreat in a critical self-image when someone at work gives you a hard time? How often do you judge yourself and take the blame when it is not yours to take? How many times have you compulsively tried to fix things and make things better at work with people who mistreat you? And how often do you berate yourself for how you respond to it, difficult people, or for any ill feelings you may have toward them for being mean to you? Ask yourself, if someone were physically beating me up the way I beat myself up, wouldn't I fight back? If so, it may be time to take on the challenge of nemesis and begin to free yourself from her grip. She only wants you to stop being cruel to yourself. 4, purge of the negativity. Cleanse other people's negativity energies in your own every day at work. Take a warm maga salt bath and a kosher salt or sea salt and a cup of Epsom salt. It will help relieve stress, angst, pains, and restore electrolytes. When you are stressed, dunk your entire body, hair too, as many times as you feel you need to. With each dip in the water, feel negativity washing away. Make an offering to the goddess at every bath time. Surrender her one negative quality you have discovered within yourself that you would like to heal. Feel free to have a good cry and allow your salty tears to go into the water, which represents the salty healing water of the sea. Release, release, release into the water. Say a prayer, nemesis, I surrender. Name of quality to you. Please help me learn the lesson of the situation and move on. Please help me find balance at work and peace in my heart. Please bring the right remedy to me now. Please heal the situation, me and all involved, for the highest good. Amen. Ashe. How to keep nemesis with you. Limit self-judgment. As critical as you are with yourself is how critical you are with others. Oftentimes, people act out when they feel they have been put on the defensive. If you are less defensive, people around you are less likely to reflect that to you. Next, give the ghosts a betrayer of the past. If you have been fired, pushed out of a job, hurt, or any alleged friend skipped over for a promotion or given a small bonus than co-workers, you have felt the sting of nemesis trying to get your attention. Focusing on offending parties and making the experience about them is not useful. Try to use disappointing experience to grow and learn how you can improve yourself. Next, seek professional support when needed. Counselors and therapists can help you through the rough spots. It's always good to get an emotional tune-up when you are in the throes of a situation that is depleting your energy. 12-step programs such as Codependent Anonymous or other related to Pacific family issues are a way to safely process a magnitude of nemesis type issues and feeling. Next, enlightening yourself. Debbie Ford's book on understanding our shadows are excellent for anyone who wants to explore this further. Seek out the dark side of the light chasers. Reclaiming your power, creativity, brilliance, and dreams in the secret of the shadows. The power of owning your own story. And Nemesis affirmation is, I can choose my actions in reactions to all things. Ashe. Alright, I love you guys. I love on yourself.